So here's my Hawaii experience. I came across things like this. Wait for it. So beautiful. I booked this trip 90 days out and didn't start planning until 2 days before. I checked the weather. I was like, oh crap, it's raining every single day that I'm there. Then I thought, well, I guess I'll just have fun in the rain. So I get there, I have a full day of exploration. I'm supposed to be resting, but I go into exploration mode. This is the New Year's Eve celebration, the finale, and going into New Year's Day. So the next day, I'm like, okay, January 1st, I'm going on this hike to hike Diamond Head Volcano. It's closed, it's raining. So I tell the Uber driver, let me out, it's beautiful, I'm gonna walk. And I just capture these beautiful sunsets and things of that nature while the sun is going down. Beautiful sunset. The next day, I'm like, well, it's still raining. Let me do Pearl Harbor. Kind of help for the ambiance, just the somberness of the tragedies and the things that really happened there. So boarded the submarine just to check out how the sailors lived back in the day, right? The mess hall, the sleeping arrangements, the look at the small size of that door, right? Just how small you had to be. What did big people do on these submarines? How did they fit, right? Because I had a time getting through the door for sure. But this particular submarine is the USS Bowfin, and I actually thought about a friend of mine because he spent 20 years in the Navy, never been on a submarine. So that's a running joke between myself and a mutual friend. It ended up being a really nice day. It just stopped raining and it was just very nice, calm, and peaceful. I can imagine the amount of people that lost their phones out here just slipping off the deck. But the weaponry up top seems pretty cool. So do the missiles, right? Being able to zero in, I just kind of got a little kick out of that. This was the Historical Museum of the Pacific Fleet, and just document like what was top secret and classified at one time, and the journeys of the merchant ships, the way that wars were done in World War II, and went from letters that were sent home, and these things are incredibly touching. Also covered the sailors and how they were able to create these flags, right? The flags were created by the sailors, and each one of them had a representation of their hometown, but they were also sewn by the sailors themselves, because when they were on the ship, they had plenty of time. I really enjoyed this little corner here where they got the thoughts from the kids and innovation and inspiration. So when the kids are able to share their ideas, kids have big, crazy, lofty ideas. And as adults, we begin to lose those. So I thought that was pretty cool. You can see a timeline of like the Cold War and how things took place, naval advancements, weaponry advancement, missile advancement, all of those things. So more of the memorial of Pearl Harbor. And again, it ended up being a beautiful day in the end. So this luau, let me tell you about this. So I am wanting to go on a luau. That's definitely an experience that you have to have. I should have known when they had this thing at the end of a mall. And then I go in after eating and I see this little show. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. And then you're going to see they're warming up the stage, kind of going through the 30s, the 40s, the decades. And here comes Elvis, right? They're bringing out Elvis, and you know that moment when you're like, something's not right about this. Like I had that feeling all along, but I kept going through and I was like, let me give it a chance. And I just shouldn't have done that.
And you in Hawaii.
So after this, a fat Michael Jackson came out. and I was done. I couldn't take no more. I got up and walked out. Everyone else like they were enjoying it, but I just left and I was like, I'll spend my time just soaking up some water on the beach in the dark. Like, that's a much better experience for me, for sure. I did enjoy my corner unit, though. I opened those doors and that wind was coming through just breezing. As you can see, it's raining another day, like majority of the day. So finally stopped raining, so going on a hike. And here I go on my way to Diamond Head, finally. Waited in this line for about 15 minutes. This is about the third of the way up, maybe 40% of the way up. Easy hike. I mean, nice and paved. This is almost at the top, and that is the grand view of the top. Funny moment that some of you saw on my Instagram stories, unless you're not there, right?
You know not on the fucking let's come here. Darn you. Shannon, darn you. Eli is so fucking scary. Come here, Shannon.
So I'm on my way down and I'm about to treat myself to a Dole Whip. This thing right here is life. Taking in that last glimpse. So the tunnel is closed for my Uber to come pick me up. Pays to be in shape, you know? You may ask, what tunnel? This tunnel. So as soon as I get back to my room, I'm like, oh my, the sun is setting. I gotta watch this. It's something that you can't miss. I would not miss that for anything. Last day, I'm going to tour the east side. If you don't get out of Honolulu, you're gonna be like in LA. Hawaii feels like LA or Honolulu does when you don't get outside of the city. So I hit the east side. The mountain you see there on the left has 1,000 steps. So this land structure here to the right, some people say it looks like a lizard. Some say it looks like a dragon. I just could not get over how majestic and how beautiful the east side is altogether. The greenery, which is an odd thing for this time of year, from my understanding. This is just one beautiful drive. So these rocks on the shore, this particular set actually has a hole in it, and when the big wave comes in, it shoots out of the hole from the bottom. That is just so beautiful. I sat there and watched it a couple times. So the east side is also where the locals go to surf. There are better waves here. The pollution, the population is far less than it is in the touristic areas. Look to your right, that is the King's Chair. It's very easy to miss, but right there to your right, it's a stack of rocks. The King's Chair overlooks the Pacific Ocean. This has got to be my favorite observation point where whale watching actually happens. And the skies were just so beautiful. Again, the greenery and just the weather, everything was just perfect about this location. So I must have spent close to an hour here. And if you look again to the far, far distance, right down there, there's the King's Chair back in the back. This was a really nice observation point. Didn't see any whales, but went on to the next point and saw even more locations where the locals, if you're not like in a place and you're not going to where the locals go, you haven't really like explored that place properly, in my opinion. So now I'm on my way to this place called Kailua Town, and that is a place where people from Australia, other countries come and reside for long-term stays. But it is a very nice area. It's local and it's a well-known area, but off the beaten path for sure. So people fish on the left and bring the fish over to the right to Buzz Steakhouse to have it cooked. How cool is that? This is a local park where, of course, people come to just chill, hang out. My purpose was to come here, have lunch. I saw something beautiful. I got sidetracked. It's what I do, record beautiful things. Find me a little bench, sit down and snack. And of course, this is always fun. These low-hanging clouds are bomb. This is called the knife. And right here, I actually have my phone out the window. I actually did it quite a bit. The things I do to capture these videos for y'all. So I planned to go to Holly Lookout, but as you can see, it started raining, and there was that. What you see here up ahead on the left is Aloha Stadium. Now, those of you that were, are Pro Bowl football, NFL football fans, and remember the Pro Bowl, Aloha Stadium is in Honolulu. It is being torn down because it costs too much money, and the state is just going to get rid of it. So my tour is coming to an end, and here's my takeaway. I will be back to Hawaii. I'll probably go to Maui next. I need a real luau experience, but for it being raining most of the time, I definitely enjoyed and made the most of it. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And then answer that question and say, today or soon, not just soon, but put something specific to it. Spin the globe, throw a dart at the map, wherever it lands, go, see, do.